Greetings, Technologians! Another year, another SSG Elections. But this year is not your usual SSG Elections because of the pandemic. And you may be wondering, how will you meet the future leaders that will serve the Technologian community? And with that, the Technologian will make sure that your vote will count. We bring you head-to-head with the SSG Standard Bearers 2021. With us today is the Vice Presidential candidate from the Union of Nation Builders and Innovators for Transparency, Empowerment, and Development, or more commonly known as United. Here is Zion Baclayon. Zion Baclayon is a second-year civil engineering student from the College of Engineering and Architecture and has a 4-year residency as a Technologian. He is one of the incumbent SSG CIT-U representatives and the current assistant head for the SSG Committee on Technologian Concerns. His leadership story began in Sangat Elementary School as a mass media officer of their supreme pupil government. During his high school, he became the SSG president that sent him to Tokyo and Shizuoka, Japan by the DepEd Central Office in collaboration with Genesis for a student exchange program as the lead male delegation for the Philippines. Running for SSG Vice President under the blue banner of United, here is Zion Baclayon. Are you ready, Zion?
Sure.
All right, so here we go.
You know what? Whenever I was a kid, back when I was in elementary, I just want to elevate, to, aspire to emerge as a student leader. And so I was elected as a mass media officer. Onwards, I was able to be elected as well as the SSG president of our school. And at the same time, I was able to, be the corps commander of the battalion of the citizenship advancement training. And at the same time, I was given the privilege by the department central office to be one of the delegates for a student exchange program there in Japan. But despite this, leadership achievements that I have encountered when I was still in junior high school and even in elementary, there is this one very reason why I want to elevate and emerge as a leader, and that is to defend students' rights and welfare. When I was a kid, I was bullied. I was given by a lot of names like kanang, itom, lagom, and even bayot, And at that point, or at that sense of time, kanang, it gave me nakanaging na-depress ko. At the same time, I felt into a little trap to the point na I told myself na di ko ganahan na maka-experience students at the same feeling that I'm currently feeling right now. Di ko ganahan na ang mga students maka-undergo of depression like this. And so in my latter year as a student, I declare, or I owe to myself and to the students that I'm currently involved with, na I will defend their students' rights and welfare. And so I aspire to be a leader who I became now. So I want to emerge as a leader running for this election, for this year's election, because I know that I have the capabilities, the knowledge, the wits, the experience, and most especially, I am not naive to the realm of SSG. Ever since when I was a kid, like what I've said, you can pa elementary up to now, batang SSG jugo, and palaban. The next one is I have something to offer. I know that I have something to offer to the Technologian community. That's why I give sense why nganong nidagan ko, wala ko nidagan kay ganharaw mo dagan, but nidagan ko kay tungod I know that I have the capabilities, and I know that I have something to offer to the Technologian community. And the last one is I just simply want to serve the Technologians. I, as an individual who is deserving and capable, called to serve the Technologian community, wants to really fulfill my oath, not just to myself, but to the Technologian community, to protect their students' rights and welfare. So that's basically why I want to run for this year's election. Siguro given the fact that we are currently involved with social media now in pandemic, di man jud makaligtaan nga lain sa gaayo we will promote it through F2F na this current setup we're having right now is online class pa. So ang ako ara siguro in my unsa is just be true to yourself. Be true to yourself while doing what a running vice president should do. You should always be there with the president, or you should always be there when the president is not around. You should always be there to cater the concerns of my fellow United mates. For example, during the campaign, mga sila, Kuya Zion, unsaon din siya? Kuya Zion, ngano din siya? Kuya Zion, pwede ka mapatudlo og ani? Diba? It's something that you can do while you are still being a United mate. You are still on the party, in United. So what I did is that I carefully made instructions to them so that they will surpass that hurdles that are currently involved with na ganahan sila mapatabang nako. And being true to myself, siguro makaana sila na ing ani day siguro ing ani jud ang kanang tumong sa Vice President. Mulihok dili kay mag-agad sa presidente, mulihok tungod kay kailangan sa presidente, and most especially mulihok para sa Technologian, para sa ako ang mga companions. Siguro my motivation is like what I've said earlier, is basically mo revolve jud siya. My main priority man good why I ran for this position is that I want to protect students' rights and welfare, right? Kay kuan man good, I know the feeling of being left behind. I know the feeling kana gining dili sila maka-conquer sa barriers or struggles na ilang gi-deal with currently. Especially now that kanang grabe jud kayo ang hurdles sa face-to-face classes, kay bag-o gud siya na set up sa kanang academic setting. And most especially, I want to be there when everyone is discriminated and bullied, because I know the feeling in the first place kung unsa kasakit ang mabully, madiscriminate og ma-left behind. So mo na siya kung basically pinaghugutan jud na kanang why I run for this position. For me, I must be the top one supportive friend to my president, and as well as being, the top one critic for him. My president, Jandel Carlo Catalonia. Top one supportive friend because I should always be there with him in all the conferences that we will be dealing with if ever ako'y ma-elect as a vice president. I should always be there in the discussion with the academics on how we will give the students a better experience, no? Diba? And come to a common interest of both the administration and the Technologian community na for the betterment of their experience. I should be always there for him, and at the same time I should always be the top one critic. Okay, of course there are also instances nga of course every one of us has flaws, right? Kanang makaamgod jud tawag mga sayop sa itong kinabuhi, and I should always be there to make a different perspective out of his perspective para maka-arrive gud tag one best kanang decision for the Technologian community, because ang tumong ramang gyud sa SSG is for the betterment of the Technologian community by espousing the values of integrity, by espousing the values of transparency, empowerment, and development. All I can say is, well experienced, I have the wits, and most especially, I have the compassion to serve the Technologians. Well experienced because what I've said again earlier, gikan pa pag elementary, laking SSG na jud ko. I've been through a lot of undertakings that an SSG officer should, kanang fulfill as an officer to serve the students currently involved. So mo na siya. I was elected as the mass media officer. I was able to be elected as well as the SSG president in junior high school, and at the same time a corps commander of a battalion, and lead a delegate from the Philippines, of all the ASEAN delegates in Japan, like kanaging I was there to lead the male delegation of the Philippines. And at the same time, now that especially we are in the same committee, I am the assistant head, and I am one of the main proponents of the crafting of Magna Carta for students' rights and welfare. So that is something that I should be proud of, and that should be something that I have in edge with my friend who is currently running for the same position. That is something so very, very it's something that it's easy but it's hard to explain. But basically if in my point of view, if ako student pangatanan ani grabe ka severe ang tingali mental health. Kaya angan it is this current setup, this online face-to-face setup of the academic setting is something that is new to us. Dili siya something na kanang kibaw ta sukad pagkabata kay ever since when we were still kids, we are exposed to a face-to-face class, di ba? This is something very new and very kanaging dili jud ka sure if naka-gets ba jud ka sa discussion sa mga maestra or dili, right? And it is something that is kinda stressful knowing the fact that gamay ra kag nasabtan because some of the discussions were not properly deliberated in the class or discussed in the class because of internet, the problem of internet connectivity, not just to the students but to the teachers as well, to the instructors as well. Some of the choppy parts of the discussion make it more hard for the students to understand these lessons, and it's something that will maka-affect pod sa ilahang mental health, di ba? So kana siya. And One fact said about this pandemic is that it imposes a lot of problems to the community. Not just financial problems, but most specifically mental health problems. Especially now that the students are more involved with the online classes and they are so much affected with this problem. So that's why I would say na dili kaayo well ang mental health during this current setup. Thank you. My answer to that is I will give conviction to myself kung unsay akong buot ganahan nga ipa-deliver gini sa iyaha given the fact that naa sometimes flaws in decisions, because ladies and gentlemen, ang tumong jud sa SSG again is for the betterment of the Technologian community, nothing than contributing to the betterment of the Technologian community. So in order to fulfill that duty as a vice president or even as an officer, I will always adhere and show boldness and conviction to what I'm kanaging akong stand na akong gi-defend. Kay if sayop jud siya, sayop jud siya. If dili jud siya for the Technologian community, di jud siya for the betterment of the Technologian community. So how do I tell my president regarding that? It's just simply I must sincerely, of course, you should always respect those who are superior. I should sincerely, honestly, and most especially give boldness to my sentiments regarding the decision that is made by the President. My fellow United Mates, my fellow Technologian community, vote for the most competent, vote for the individual who has the passion to serve, and most especially vote for the individual or for the running candidate who has the track record to give you the best experience that you will be experiencing in the next academic year.